Geologists are digging more into fault zones or potential fault zones on the east side of the Cascades and what that means. And you recently covered that and caught up with them in a big trench. What are they looking for, and what did you find?
Sure. So I was basically in between Pasco and Walla Walla, and USGS geologists are studying the Wallula Fault. And so they dug a 90 by 12-foot trench. The way they dug that was they dug it over what's called a scarp, and it to you or me would look like a rolling bump kind of in the ground. You might not even notice it, but to geologists, it's really pretty obvious. It's where one part of the fault has slid up relative to the other part of the fault, and they can follow this particular scarp from Wallula Gap all the way to Walla Walla, which is about 12 miles. And once they got inside the trench, they were able to kind of study the different layers of sediment, and they could see things like the Missoula floods all the way up to modern day dirt. Once they were in there, they found ash, and what they did was they collected that ash, and they're hoping to be able to date it so they can look at it and figure out more about when this particular scarp was formed. They think it dates back about 10,000 years. That might sound like a lot, but it actually is really not that long of a time in geologic time, and it means that this particular fault is active and potentially hazardous for nearby communities.
Well, just so we're clear, this isn't necessarily new information or a new find, correct? Like, geologists have known about these faults in eastern Washington for a long time. They're just doing more study of them. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. So in the 1990s, this laser imaging technology called LiDAR was invented. And so that really helped geologists kind of be able to see and understand more about what's going on underneath our feet. They know of at least 10 fault zones in eastern Washington that are 40 miles long or longer. And those are fault zones that could cause significant damage to nearby communities. And so what they hope to do with this new study, they eventually want to map all of the faults in eastern Washington, and that way they can provide risk assessment for people to say when a particular fault could rupture and what that would mean for nearby communities. So that's going to take a while, but the technology will help them get there a lot faster.
Thanks for sharing that information on this important quake-related story, Courtney. You can see more on this and other stories Courtney reports on at NWPB.org. Thank you for joining us here in the unique Northwest.